Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, the question that I will be answering is, if predestination is true, does that make spreading the gospel unnecessary? So the first thing we have to understand is that Christians are of two categories, and these two categories are well addressed in the scriptures. You have the Christian leaders considered to be apostles. These ones are predestinated because they are pioneers of the Christian heritage, just as the prophets were for the nation of Israel. The apostles head Christian converts who are described or referred to as other sheep in John chapter 10, verse 16. Right? Jesus Christ said, "Other sheep I have, which are not of this fold." You have the apostles, and then you have the others. If you also read Isaiah chapter 56, verse 8, you see the same description. "I will gather others apart from those that I've gathered." And it was described in Zechariah chapter 8, verse 23, using someone wearing a skirt. The person is Jesus. The skirt are the apostles, or the body members of Jesus Christ, this inner circle. And then you have those who are clinging to the skirt. Those 10 men who are holding on to the skirt. That is us, because we are trying to run after or follow the apostles who are with Jesus Christ. That is the biblical setup. So Paul, for example, who is an apostle, made it clear that predestination only applies to those of his class. He said, "For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren." That is Romans chapter 8, verse 29. He also said, "According as he hath chosen us in him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before him in love, having predestinated us unto the adoption of children by Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will." That is Ephesians chapter 1, verses 4 to 5. And even when we're talking about the apostolic class, it is not necessarily the individuals that are predestinated. Otherwise, Judas Iscariot would not have been able to sin and fall out of apostleship, according to Acts chapter 1, verse 25. Rather, it is the apostolic class or the institution that is predestinated, and God chooses the individuals who will belong to it. But God's choice is usually related to the people that naturally fit the position. That's why he could choose someone like Jeremiah to be a prophet even before he was born, according to Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. But to the general population, predestination does not apply. God has given us the choice right from the beginning of time as to whether we want to do his will or not, according to Joshua chapter 24, verse 15. God has decreed or predestinated that he would have children, according to Isaiah chapter 43, verse 21, but it is our choice whether we want to fulfill that and become one of those children by God's grace, or instead fulfill texts that discuss those who would not reach that standard, the wicked. Therefore, preaching the gospel is still necessary so that people have the required knowledge to make a proper choice. So that answers that question. If predestination is in fact true, does that make spreading the gospel unnecessary? Predestination is true, but not all Christians are predestinated. And so, for the majority who are not, then preaching is very necessary so that they can be taught and can live according to those teachings. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in tomorrow's video.